Hello there, y'all. I'm Rain, and this is Fennec Fables, where we delve into some fun things about tabletop role-playing games, including prompts, ideas, stories, or even systems. Seems folks quite enjoyed me discussing the rules of Pokemon Tabletop United, which, if you haven't seen, should be popping up in the corner right over here. I'm so glad y'all liked it and figured before the next video, which was going to be a guide and demonstration on how to make your trainer and starter Pokemon, I could get your creativity roaring to go with a quick fire overview of all the classes available to you in the core Pokemon Tabletop United book. There are even more options in some of the ancillary materials, but I'll leave those for y'all to scope out on your own, as those are focused on games centered on specific themes like medieval-esque fantasy and cyberpunk. Definitely some cool ideas, but I'm going to assume most of y'all are wanting to explore a more general game to start. I'm going to be covering all the rules for building a trainer in the follow-up video, but for a quick overview, in Pokemon Tabletop United, not only can you multi-class, you're expected to, as your trainer will have up to 4 classes all working together to make someone truly unique. Each class will have specific prerequisites to take it, and unless otherwise mentioned, each class can only be taken once, though things like Type Ace, Stat Ace, and Researcher break these rules. Classes are broken up into categories, which I'll cover before each group. Generally, each class group is going to be settling in on a specific niche, so it helps you spread everything out properly. Mixing and matching these classes as you level up are a great way to display the journey your trainer is going on, and I highly recommend having a general idea of what you'd like to aim for, so you don't miss out on anything cool as you do that. In addition to the class categories, there's also this handy roles chart that's provided for each class, which generally shows what that class is focused on and doing. I will mention it won't rate how effective a class is at a role, but it will denote how much of its focus is on that specific role. These roles are active Pokemon support, which will have your trainer actively engaging and buffing and or supporting their Pokemon with things like orders or features. These roles tend to have lots of powerful options, but they take up actions and resources, so you have to manage them carefully. Passive Pokemon support, on the other hand, is a class which tends to have your trainer setting your Pokemon up to succeed prior to fights, with tutoring or special bonuses that carry over throughout the day. These are less dynamic, but since they are less involved, they free up resources for the rest of the day. There's also the crafting role, which denotes a class that focuses on making items, either for themselves or for allies. Most of these things require resources and time, but they can sway the way of battle if you have the right tool for the right job. Trainer combat as a role does exactly what it says on the tin. These roles denote a class that will have your trainer themselves entering the fray in some manner. Whether this is in melee, at range, or some mix of the two, it will vary by class. The last role is the travel and investigation role. This role indicates a class will be focused on making sure y'all get from point to point safely, as well as help leaning into finding cool things along the way. If you're searching for long lost temples or mysterious artifacts, then you may want to look for this role among the classes. Each class will have any roles it has involved with it listed with a total of 5 Pokeballs spread among them to show how much of a focus it has. Some classes will have 1 role with 5, showing that's all it focuses on, while others may have 5 roles with 1 each or some other mixture. Each class has its benefits, and it's up to you to decide what suits your needs. As an aside, I'll mention that the classes will also mention any skills that are attributed to them, which tend to be the focus of their prerequisites, so it's also helpful to keep that in mind. That all covered, let's hop into the overview, shall we? I won't be digging into each and every feature of a class, but I'll be doing my best to give you an idea of what it's about and why you may like to add that to your trainer. Starting off, we have the introductory classes. These trainer classes tend to act as a solid base, setting you up for specific playstyle or focus that you can narrow in on with additional classes. Picking one of these first tends to help boost additional class picks and set your niche up, such as an all-rounder, a battler, or a contest trainer. The first example we have is the Ace Trainer. Ace Trainers are a great base chassis for any trainer, as they focus on setting up your Pokemon for the long haul. They take advantage of training and order features to have your Pokemon start battles with a boost already applied, and reward having a Pokemon grow on your team with permanent stat buffs. With extra orders and a few other bonuses to have them at tip-top shape, Ace Trainer is a great choice for anyone to choose. Next up is the Capture Specialist. These trainers took the phrase "gotta catch 'em all" as a direct challenge. Their entire focus is on making it easier on catching Pokemon using multiple techniques and abilities. Utilizing things like Pokeballs, baits, nets, and even glue cannons, this trainer's class is a force to be reckoned with. If you plan on shiny hunting or chasing down rare Pokemon, you're definitely going to want a capture specialist in your group. Following that, we have the Commander class. These trainers are generals of the battlefield and have their skills to back it. As they develop, they gain skills to not only effectively manipulate their own Pokemon, but they can begin to help other trainers as well. Choreographing an onslaught to victory with a presence to match. If you're planning on taking on league battles, these guys are going to be an absolute menace. On the opposite side of league battles, we have coordinators. For those that want to demonstrate how beautiful a display Pokemon can be, this class focuses in on Pokemon contests. While their abilities are focused on contests, they do have features that can be used elsewhere, including ways to reroll damage, or even creating their own moves using a template. It may not suit every game, but if you're looking to explore contests, coordinators are the must-have class for you. For those that want to have a little bit of everything, we have the Hobbyist class. This one acts like a bit of a skill monkey, letting you pick a wide swath of edges and features, having you really decked out with more skills than you could get otherwise. This is really the jack of all trades class, and if you want to be absolutely sure that you have every niche possibility covered, then you're going to want to snag Hobbyist. You won't be an expert in everything, but you'll know enough to get started. And to finish us out in the introductory section, for those players that want to focus on bringing out the absolute best of their Pokemon, we have the Mentor. This class works to bring out the majesty of your Pokemon, allowing you to get the moves earlier than they could normally learn, and some that they couldn't learn on their own at all. If you want to be able to walk into a fight and surprise some people, this class will do just that. For the next category, we have the battling style classes. These trainer classes are all focused on how your trainer engages in Pokemon battles and training. Determining whether you're looking to outlast opponents, be constantly swapping with those on the field, or hoping to go for the sweep, these classes help facilitate specific playstyles. Starting off in this category, we have the Cheerleader. Cheerleader is a highly versatile class that not only benefits your Pokemon, but fellow trainers as well. Being able to dole out free action points and many very helpful buffs that can easily turn the tide of battle. It also has the flexibility to do so at a smaller scale for no cost or going all out for a bigger one. Plus, I love the idea of literally cheering on your Pokemon to victory. Following that, we have the Duelist, which is one of my faves. This class is all about maintaining the momentum, literally, as it is a momentum tracker that you keep showing how long your Pokemon has been on the field. The more it attacks a specific enemy, the easier it is for them to hit and avoid being hit for that specific one. At later levels, you can even spend from this tracker to do special effects. If you want to be able to focus down one enemy with ruthless precision, this class is the one for you. In an interesting niche, we have the Enduring Soul. In almost a direct opposition to the Duelist, the Enduring Soul's focus is on outlasting everything on the field with sheer bulk and endurance, with a focus on inflating your Pokemon's HP stat and giving you several features that stave off injuries and eventually leading to an ability that lets you get a final attack out if you do drop. This is very much the Rocky class where you're not going down till you say you're going down. Next, we have the Juggler class. This class is all about swapping out your Pokemon to get the advantage in a fight. Right off the bat, it increases a Pokemon's initiative in a round that they've been swapped into, but as you progress, it gives you bonuses such as allowing stat boosts from one Pokemon to be transferred to another one coming out, and getting a sneaky hit in outside of its usual turn. If you want to press every advantage, Juggler may be just what you're looking for. For those that love transport Pokemon in the games, we have the Rider class. This class focuses on mounted combat where you and your Pokemon act as one. It focuses a lot on dash and pass moves while also giving you features that help you keep you and your Pokemon safe as you both wade into the fray. If you want to be the mounted knight of a group, then check this one out for sure. If, on the other hand, you want to be the nasty bad boy of a group, then Taskmaster may fit the bill. This class focuses on pushing your Pokemon to the absolute limit, applying injuries to them to give them bonuses. This class primarily focuses on brutal orders, and it's a high risk, high reward class as injuries are very dangerous as a mechanic. I will say that this is one that you may need to discuss with your party as harming a Pokemon may be a touchy subject at certain tables. Trickster is the next class which much prefers using status effects and other sneaky methods to get the upper hand, reveling on stacking on additional detriments and making sure their opponents are always struggling to get out from underneath some underhanded trick. If you want to be that pesky little gremlin, I might recommend that you check this class out. Now we have the specialist team classes. All these classes focus themselves on keying into something specific and basing your entire Pokemon party around it. There are going to be multiple subsections to each of these, so I won't be able to go into each of them, but be sure that they're all fantastic options if you want to push a concept to a limit. First one is the Stat Ace. Pokemon all have 6 stats, being HP, Attack, Special Attack, Defense, Special Defense, and Speed. And the Stat Ace lets you pick one of these, aside from HP, to make the focus of your entire team. You can choose to take this class a few times, picking a different stat each time as well. All their features focus on taking a stat and applying extra points to it as you level up, giving you extra moves in keeping with that stat's niche, extra abilities, or even modifying moves to give you additional effects. Whether you want to make an absolutely devastating physical attacker or the fastest Pokemon alive, this class can help get you there. If instead you want to focus on contests, you have the Style Expert class. This one lets you pick from 5 different styles, being beauty, cool, cute, smart, and tough, and looking to give your boosted stats based on those very similar to Stat Ace. There are also additional abilities that will help you in contests that all will vary by the stat that trainer focuses in on. Rounding us out in this category, we have the Type Ace trainer. This is one that we are all familiar with, whether it's the fishermen with only water types, the bug catchers of the woods, or those hikers featuring hardy rock types. This class has you picking one type of Pokemon to be an expert in and going all out on it. You can choose to take this class multiple times to take extra types as well, but if you're picking this one, I imagine you already have a type you love above all others. Each of the features vary by type you choose, so the benefits and flavors are all tailored to maximize your fave ones to new heights. Next up, for those players that have always been curious on what it'd be like to live in a Pokemon world, we have the Professional classes. These denote someone with a specific role or job that they excel in above all others. First up is the Chef class. All about making fabulous dishes, this class goes all in on the digestion buff mechanic, crafting items that, depending on the flavor and the Pokemon that eats it, gain benefits from it. It also allows them to craft special recovery items and make things to attract Pokemon to your location. This even includes things like bonuses from vitamins and other handy items. Really great to have them on a team. Following that, we have the Chronicler. This class focuses on witnessing events, people, and places. Depending on the type of archive they decide on, they can get lasting benefits, such as teaching a move that they've been recording, having details to better interact with people or Pokemon they've been keeping an eye on, or to be able to better explore regions that they've been to before. If you're one of those people that are always taking notes and recall pertinent details, then the Chronicler is a class that's almost tailor-made for you. Fashionista is up next and goes all in on held items and maximizing the benefits of them for trainers and Pokemon alike. Not only can they craft special items depending on certain skills, but they can also manipulate what effects certain items give. If you're hoping to do makeovers and utilize all the various equipment items for some wild times, this class has got you covered. If you're looking to really dive into the sciences of Pokemon instead though, then you're going to want to check out the Researcher class. This is one of the ones that comes with multiple subsets, and when you first take it, you get to pick 2 of them. Each field has a very diverse selection of features, so you can really make something very interesting. Combinations can include things like occultism, climatology, paleontology, and so many more that really help you live out your Pokemon researcher or mad scientist dreams. Last up in the specialist classes, we have the Survivalist. This class is completely focused on the use of specific environments, so it's best to check in with the Game Master on what you're likely to encounter before you take this one. That said, they are absolutely able to manipulate it to its fullest, receiving moves based on the terrain that they're focused in, making traps that use the environment, and even being able to help shepherd others safely around as well. We are now closing in on the home stretch as we enter the Fighter classes. For those players that have always wanted to wade into the fray with their Pokemon, these may be what you're looking for. Some battles, like League sanctioned fights, may not allow you to join in though, so be sure to keep that in mind when you're picking out classes, to make sure you have things that match the game you're playing. Athletes come out first in the lead, as the class trying to replicate a focus on caring for oneself and denoting how one may focus on specific aspects of themselves. Starting off with selecting 2 stats to boost after an extended action of exercise, and then following with several handy boosts and having them learn moves with a lean toward bulk and physicality. On the other hand, we have a class called Dancer, which wants you to focus on the rhythm and is focused entirely on boosting your combat stages, with dances you design yourself for ultimate customization. This class itself does not gain any damaging moves, so it works best in conjunction with other classes. These moves can also eventually be taught to your own Pokemon if you're hoping to add some flair to their move pools. Hunters are the next class, and these guys pride themselves with working as a unit, focusing in on pack-like tactics, attempting to get a target surrounded and overwhelming them. You gain additional attacks if a foe tries to flee from you, and also get benefits if you get them drop on someone. If you're hoping to surround and conquer, this is the class you're looking for. Now we have the more traditional combat class, the Martial Artist. This one lets you pick one of 6 fighting styles with a specific move pool showing the style you're replicating. There is also an exceptional amount of flexibility in this class, as you're able to pick from a decent list of quite good moves, with a special feature at the tail end that lets you really lean into the fantasy of a fighter with that style. The next one may come as a surprise, but Musician is the next fighter class. These trainers pride themselves on using sonic moves and ability, and as they progress are even able to prevent their allies from being caught up in the devastation of their raucous performances. They even have special songs that they provide boosts to allies with within range. The Provocateur, on the other hand, is looking to be a bit quieter and a whole lot meaner. Their goal is to placate or infuriate targets, softening them up so that allies can come in with the finishing blow. If you're hoping to play a femme fatale or a James Bond type thing, this class may be just what you're looking for if you're hoping to cut out somebody's heart emotionally. Rogues are a class that fully intend to take advantage of every opportunity they can get a hold of, looking to strike fast, hard, and use every dirty trick they can get a hold of. Gaining access to devastating moves like Sucker Punch and Payback, they try to debilitate enemies and leave them no avenue for escape. Roughnecks, in a similar vein, know full well how effective an intimidating presence can be when it comes to battle, using fear tactics and chip away at their enemies' stats and HP, whittling them down and attempting to have them flinch and miss out on opportunities altogether. Definitely the bully of the classes. Tumblers are the last of the fighter classes. They pride themselves on maneuverability and speed, gaining moves that focus on flitting about the field and having access to things that normally would be out of reach. Near the tail end, they can become so fast and maneuverable that they even gain a second turn in the initiative, so quite speedy lads indeed. And now that we've reached the very last group, the Supernatural class group. These classes are all superhuman in nature, and with some keying into magic, psionics, or how much power can be had if you're pushing the human body to the absolute limit. Starting off with one of my fave classes in the game, we have the Aura Guardian. This class focuses entirely on the power of aura and its manipulation of it, giving several exceptional offensive and defensive abilities. You're even eventually able to get a move that lets you produce a protective barrier around yourself or an ally for a short time. If you love Lucarios and want to follow in that footstep, this is the class for you. Channelers, on the other hand, are a class devoted to connecting to the world and Pokemon around them. When channeling, you are able to perform feats such as distributing damage from one Pokemon to be spread among the others, boosting stats based on your intuition level, and even spreading out healing energy to the collective. Opposed to that good feeling vibe, we have the Hex Maniac. This class is all about dropping some really nasty status conditions on those that they are fighting against, and eventually, after some leveling, gaining a devastating attack that grows in power if their target is under a negative effect. If you're after some witchy vibes, then Hex Maniac has got you covered. Ninja is a class focused on physical body training and the art of ninjutsu. Focused in deception, poisoning, and avoiding harm, this class has everything you're looking for if you want someone that can sneak in and get the job done. It can even eventually make illusions that are so lifelike that it can fool special forms of vision. Oracle is a class all about seeing past and future events, giving you several abilities that will have your character perceive the world and preventing yourself from being deceived by illusions. Later in this class, you can even choose to completely ignore an attack, prepare a die roll that you can use to replace a roll being made by an ally, twisting fate to your whims. Sages are a class that are experts at mitigating harm, producing several blessings and benefits that mitigate and reduce damage taken by allies, as well as eventually gaining abilities that let you heal party members altogether. If you're looking for a companion to keep your group in tip-top shape, then you should definitely check out the Sage. Telekinetics are psychics that just love getting things moving about. With this class, not only will you be able to move things with nothing but your mind, you'll be able to produce several dangerous attacks as you attempt to crush the minds of those that oppose you. If you're looking to pull off your inner Sabrina, this class will get you there. If you'd rather mess with people's minds instead of their bodies, then check out the Telepath class, letting you glean over the thoughts of others and manipulate them to a degree. Later on in the class, you're even able to incept a thought into somebody's mind, though how strong of an effect may vary. And finally, the last of the classes is the Warper class, adjusting the chances of reality and suiting things to your own whims, being able to swap allies' positions, preventing healing, and eventually being able to actively change the results of games of chance and generating items that you just so happen to have needed. If you enjoy games of Keep Away, this class will help you allow for so many shenanigans. And with that, we've covered every core class in the game. I'd hope that this brief little overview would get you all interested in thinking about the possible class combinations that you would love to pull off in this amazing game. I'd love to hear down in the comments what interesting combinations tickled your fancy. In the current game I'm playing, I'm running around as an ace trainer, duelist, martial artist, and aura guardian. We have lots of league sanctioned and full contact battles, so I've been useful in most everything, so that's been a blast. And what can I say, I do enjoy throwing a punch. As a thank you for sticking around the whole video, here is a photo of Pluto, the ever helpful doggo, as I do the end credit spiel. If you can, a like, a share, or especially a subscribe really helps as I work on getting more of these videos out. I've been working on my way to 500 subscribers, and each new video brings a smile to my face. I've also got an Etsy shop with some stickers, and we're running a sale right now with 20% off orders with 2 or more items if you enter the code FEISTYFENNEC at checkout. If you enjoy answering TTRPG prompts or questions, please join me on Twitter or Blue Sky, where I post daily, which is in the description down below and linked on the main channel page. Who knows? Your responses may be part of a future video. If you have any suggestions for future topics, I'm always interested in what folks would like to hear, and you can send them either by email or by joining the channel Discord, where you can chat with me and fellow cool people. Thanks again, y'all, and I hope these videos were useful to you and help you tell better tales. I'm sorry it may sound a little bit weird, but I'm just coming off of getting sick, so this video was also partially a way of me recovering and not having to stress my voice as much as I usually do. Talk to you later. Bye.